Biden struggling to function during closed door meetings with officials. Uh, he's been struggling. This is really not new news. This is old stuff. I've been saying back when he was hiding Biden, they had him hiding in the basement so they wouldn't show they couldn't show how incompetent he really is. They didn't want to show his dementia, and now it's really bad, and people are can't lie about it anymore. So we're gonna talk a little bit about it, but before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. All right, so let's talk about this news here. Now, this comes from the Daily Wire's Ryan Savitra, and he reports that President Joe Biden is reportedly struggling to function during closed door meetings with U.S. officials and lawmakers to the point where at times people have wondered if he was awake. The Wall Street Journal interviewed dozens of people, Republicans and Democrats, including those inside the White House, for its report, and found that many had serious concerns about Biden's mental fitness for the job. This is exactly why they will not release that audio of him during that interview, because it will show how bad he really is. That's exactly why we can get the transcripts, but we can't get the official audio. But their concerns match concerns that the overwhelming majority of voters have heeding into the upcoming election, following years of Biden making serious mental errors, from not remembering when he was in office to claiming that he had recently met with people who had been dead for decades. And I've talked about that. The report comes after Special Counsel Robert Hur decided earlier that he could not bring criminal charges against Biden for his mishandling of classified material, in part because prosecutors did not believe that he would be viewed as fit to stand trial. And this is what I was talking about, the interview that Hur, the special counsel, did with Joe Biden. They won't release that audio because it will show how bad his mental acuity really is. But the administration responded to the story by claiming that most of it was false, or by trying to paint things Biden said or did as positive, when most others perceived the president's actions as the exact opposite. Other Democrats tried to defend Biden by saying that his mental decline was really just a, quote, speech impediment issue. Wow, it's a speech impediment. That's their excuse. That's the best excuse they can come up with. But during a meeting earlier this year about providing funding to Ukraine, Biden reportedly, quote, paused for extended periods and sometimes closed his eyes for so long that some in the room wondered whether he had turned out. He spent a significant amount of time trying to convince lawmakers why it was necessary to provide the funding, even though the lawmakers who attended did so because they already believed that it was needed. During the meeting, Biden hardly spoke, often deferring to his staffers, and when he did speak, attendees could barely hear him, the report said. Quote, you couldn't be there and not feel uncomfortable, one attendee told the publication. I'll just say that. It looks terrible. It's basically elder abuse. You rolling this old man out, knowing he had no business to be no business running the country. Let alone, I wouldn't let him run a lemonade stand. And you got this man running the freaking country. He can't even keep his eyes open during a meeting. It's disgusting what the Democrats are doing. But Senator James E. Risch said that when dealing with Biden behind closed doors, quote, what you see on TV is what you get. These people who keep talking about what a dynamo he is behind closed doors, they need to get him out from behind closed doors, because I didn't see it, he said. When House Speaker Mike Johnson offered Biden a list of executive actions that he could take to fix the border crisis that he caused when he entered office and undid all of former President Donald Trump's immigration policies, Biden reportedly snapped at Johnson and said, quote, "I've forgotten more about immigration than you will ever know." Okay. I wouldn't I wouldn't doubt that. He probably forgot a whole bunch of things. But during a meeting the following month in February, Johnson brought up to Biden that his new policy of halting liquefied natural gas, or LNG, exports to other countries would be damaging to the U.S. economy. Of course it would, and would strengthen Russian President Vladimir Putin's funding for his Ukraine war. But but Biden don't care about that. He's beholden to these crazy environmentalists. So it's destroying um, um, all gasoline. Don't matter if it's liquefied natural gas. Don't matter if it's regular oil. It's destroying all of that. That's Biden's job. That's what he's trying to do. But Biden reportedly responded by claiming that his new policy was, quote, only a study, according to the accounts of multiple people who were at the meeting. Biden apparently didn't know what his own policy was. Of course he don't. He's not writing the policies. These are not his policies. He is a puppet. He's just there. He's not the one that has anything. He doesn't have anything to do with any of these policies. So of course he don't know. It's just a study. The former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy said that when he dealt with Biden on negotiating to avoid a federal government shutdown, Biden, quote, would ramble and was not able to negotiate. Of course not. Quote, "I used to meet with him when he was vice president. I go to his house," McCarthy said. "He's not the same person." McCarthy added that Biden would call to check up on the progress of negotiations, but never mentioned any details. He said that during a call that he had with Biden while the president was on Air Force One, Biden was, quote, was more with it than any other time, but that during during the subsequent follow-up call, he completely fell apart and had to try to negotiate items that were taken care of weeks prior in previous negotiations. That's because the drugs wore off. The amphetamines they got them jacked up on, they can't keep them jacked up on that stuff forever. So when he finally came down from that, his mental acuity dropped, and that's what happened there. But we all know it's Dementia Joe. They're gonna be hiding him for the 2024 election and bring him out every now and again. They'll have him jacked up for the 2 debates that he agreed to. That's why they're not doing any other debates. It's going to be heavily heavily tailored for Biden, and I guarantee he's not going to do a drug test because he's going to be jacked up on all types of stuff. But let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest news. Until next time, peace.